you know, alafu hapo hapa slave traders ndio wako hapa, and they are communicating to us, requesting the government of Kenya.
Na karibu sana ndani ya Empire Group Production. Jina langu kama kawaida ni Shiko Gitao, na hivi leo niko maeneo fulani amazing, and we are on our way to the Givenchy Gardens. And the reason as why we are heading there is because we have a group of people who have planned for a presser in address to the circulating video online. Najua umetazama hii video ambapo there is a lady unfortunately breastfeeding puppies. According to what people said on social media platforms, alisema kwamba the lady is in Saudi Arabia, and in that clip the lady is heard crying, saying that he has left a 2-month-old baby here in Kenya, and after going there, unfortunately, she says that her boss has forced her to breastfeed a dog. So we are here to hear what they have to say, because lately we have also seen the KOTU Secretary General, that is Francis Atoli, giving us his thought concerning that. And according to him, he says that agencies in Kenya should be abolished, because all we have is sad stories of people who have traveled abroad, or rather traveled to Saudi Arabia and back with sad stories. So yes, come with us and let us have a listen to what they have to say about this video and what the KOTU Secretary General had to say.
Oh, okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Yeah, welcome. I know we gave you a very short notice, but we are happy all of you are here. Please feel welcome. We want to make a statement regarding the ongoing recently, particularly resulting to a girl that was videoed with puppies sucking the breast, God forbid. Out of that, there's been a lot of outcry and a lot of allegations, and the latest being the one that was said yesterday from the women caucus in Parliament, from their leadership. And we agree with them as mothers and also as brothers and sisters. That video was outrageous, and whoever did that should be condemned, does not deserve to live as a human being, because that is totally inhuman. What worries us, that video was linked to us, because as we stand here, we are standing here and I'm giving a statement as a recruiter, as a company that is involved in foreign migration, recruitment for employment overseas and local. Us as recruiters, as you see us here, we are not agents. The agencies were stopped by the government in 2012. And the government went through a whole procedure for about 6 years. And they came up with a regulatory body called National Employment Authority, simply known as NEA. I think most of you are aware that we have an organization, an authority called NEA. So NEA is our regulator. For you to take anybody through the airport abroad to work, you must be registered by NEA. To be registered by NEA, you must be a corporate company. So, and you must have a share capital of 5 million. So, and the whole process, the cost for the whole process is, we estimate it as 2 million. So we are not agents, we are companies that has been given authority by the government of Kenya to carry out foreign deployment. Now, what happens to us when you take somebody outside? There are procedures that we do, particularly where the outcry is domestic worker in Saudi Arabia. For us to take a girl to Saudi Arabia, that girl must be trained. That girl must have a passport, that girl must have a good conduct. That girl must go through medical procedure. Or that girl must go through what we call attestation by the Ministry of Labor. And now we're also doing attestation by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Before we buy, then that girl is taken to the embassy. After all that is done, that's when you take the document to the embassy, Saudi embassy, for stamping. Once you get the stamping, then we take the girl to the airport. Right now, other conditions have come, like vaccination and COVID test. When you go to the airport, we pass through several counters. We pass through the counter of vaccination, we pass through the counter ticketing, then we go the normal procedure by the customs. So tell me, if you are trafficking a human being, can you pass through all those protocols in the airport until the girl gets an aeroplane pass, board the aeroplane, and is received in Saudi? Is it possible? So it is not possible. So we are working with the government departments. We are working with the government ministry. This procedure involves minimum 4 ministries. It involves Ministry of Labor through National Employment Authority. It involves Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It involves Ministry of Interior. It involves Ministry of Education. For a girl to be in Saudi Arabia. So there's no way a girl can easily get into Saudi Arabia without all those departments knowing. So from my statement from the word go, I said we are flabbergasted, but what came out in the media? But we were saddened but that enough investigation was not done by the public. Because if you look at that video, at the bottom of it, there's a site where it came from. And that site is pornographic. If you go to that site, it's pornographic. Now imagine parents whose children saw that video and was shocked the way you and me were shocked. Then they went to that site and what they met was pornographic. It's a very sad thing. So I want to advise our leadership, particularly the ladies that gave the press, that I wish they had done their investigation on that particular site. And more so, the Court General, Secretary General, should have gone to that site before coming public. So, but because the whole thing is outside there, we need to clear the air. Now, I want us to understand, the Court Secretary General has been the Secretary General for Court for over 20 years. Every year, we have 800,000 KCP candidates leaving school. We have about 600,000 KCSE candidates leaving school. We have about 80,000 graduates leaving universities. This has been happening. Yeah, this has been happening ever since, for almost like 20 years. What alternative has Mr. Tweli offered young people to get a livelihood? Because if you are genuine about Kenyans, you should have at least opened at a vet college to train some artisan. Do you have any college belonging to KOTU that takes care of young people leaving educational centers, either secondary, tertiary colleges, or universities? I've not seen one. The leaders that were talking, I sympathize with them because they were passionate. These girls, a girl from Kwale that got pregnant at the age of 14, and by the age of 20, she had 3 kids. And the young man, the father of the kids, is nowhere to be seen. She's 20 years. If God give her life, she'll live up to 80 years. How is her life going to be? Appreciate the government of Saudi Arabia for giving us a platform where our girls at least can go and get a livelihood. I want to end, but I want to end in this note because there are other colleagues of mine who need to give a statement. We have 200 girls, 200,000 girls working in Saudi Arabia as I speak to you now. 200,000 girls working in Saudi Arabia. I want you to work by calculation. Work 10% of 200,000, you get 2,000. Sorry, you get 10%, you get 20,000. Work out 1% of 200,000, you get 2,000. Work out 0.1%, you get 200. The cases that we have they reached 200? Have they reached 200, ladies and gentlemen? They have not reached 200. That is 0.1%. What happens to 99.9%? The ones who are in Saudi Arabia. Are they not working? Are they not bringing revenue to the country? Are they not supporting their family? Yeah. Are they not changing the lives of their family? This is what we're supposed to look at. Yes, there's a problem in Saudi, but the problem can be solved. The problem can be solved. And we've written solutions to the right authority. We've told them we work with the companies. When a girl comes from my company to a company in Saudi Arabia, that company that I'm taking my girl can employ a Kenyan girl to manage the welfare of all the Kenyan girls that come through their offices. We have told the government we can also have safe houses in the major cities and in the major sections of Saudi, where if a girl is distressed, they can go to these safe houses and they can be helped through the Kenyan embassy. So we have solutions to this problem. And the Saudi Arabia is giving us a platform, economic platform, to help our girls. Because right now, where would we be? So I think we should not be passionate, so much passionate about the going-ons that is going around the media. We should also look at the other side of the coin. The media houses that are present here, I've seen it in Nation TV, I've seen it in Citizen and other media houses. When a girl is distressed and is right here in Kenya, and you call that girl or those girls to the station, or Haki Africa brings some girls to the station, these girls, before you bring them, they were taken to Saudi Arabia by a company that is registered. Why don't you call the directors of those companies also to be a part of your panel? If you don't want to call the members, us, any one of us, or don't want to call our leadership, why don't you call that company that took that girl to Saudi Arabia to be part of that? This industry is regulated by the government. And you know the work of a government is to facilitate. They are not players. There's no government in the world who is a player in an industry. They just facilitate. So our government has facilitated and they've given us a platform for us to be players, for you to be a player. They know, because they're the facilitators. Why don't you call somebody in your studio when you're interviewing those girls from National Employment Authority? Why don't you call somebody from labor to be there? Why do you always see just the girls who are distressed? Why don't you call somebody from Foreign Affairs to be there? Why don't you call somebody from the Ministry of Education to be there? Why don't you call somebody from the Ministry of Interior to be there? To also respond to the allegations being said, because we are misleading Kenyans and we are spoiling an opportunity that is glowing. Right now, there's a country that's already grabbed, they've signed a bilateral agreement with Saudi Arabia. They will drop Kenya like a hot bar, a hot metal. And when Kenya is dropped as a hot metal, the population of the girls is over 200,000, the population of the other workers is over 200,000, in the hotel industry, we have over 500,000. What's going to happen to their family? What's going to happen to their children? What's going to happen to their wives? What's going to happen to their parents? So let us not be so passionate. Let us be balanced in what we say. Ladies and gentlemen, I have other people to make their remarks. I welcome Julie Kabogo. She wants to make a remark. Thank you very much.
Greetings, members of the press. My name is Julie Kabogo, Vice Chairperson, Kenya Association of Private Employment Agencies. So we are here to really bring light to the happenings that have been going on in regards to this industry of labor migration. So now, especially about the video that has been going around, we are very disappointed. We are very, very disappointed. And it has triggered so many statements from leaders here and there, from parliamentarians, which have also boiled up to some issues. Now we have girls in distress. One simple statement like saying, we will ban the travel of girls from Kenya. Do you know what that does? What happens is, if you ban the ones who are here to travel, they're not the ones suffering. So if you throw away the ones that are there, what happens? So if you ban us from going, then we leave the ones that are there, then what happens to them? So the first action should be, if there is distress, can we bring back all Kenyans? If we are truly, truly distressed, banning people from going is not going to help. If we really want to help our people, and there are those that are in distress, let's bring them back. It has never been a solution. Accidents happen every day. Do we stop going to work because roads have accidents? No. We really look at, if it's speeding, then let's put roadblocks. Let's control this. So we need to find out what is the problem. Then let us work on the issues arising. So leaders, please, let's be very cautious about what we say. This, whatever comes out of our mouths affects very many people. I want to highlight something on what the Kotu boss said. He has been very focused on this industry, and I am very disappointed. I, on behalf of our agents, do you know how much a watchman earns in Kenya? Around 8,000. That is a highly paid watchman in a company, uniformed. Do you know how much the security people we deploy earn? Yes, they work, here they work 12 hours a day. Those ones work 8 hours, from there it's overtime. They don't earn anything short of 66,000, with a lot of benefits. So, are we happier to just have people sitting around here? Or should we deploy our people there to take care of the welfare of those we have deployed? The Philippines is exporting labor. As we want to concentrate on coffee, have you seen the weather? There is drought all over here, but we have people sitting here. Why don't we send our people there? Can we have more consulars to take care of the welfare? Instead of us, now we just want to sit and hide in a cocoon and say we'd rather stay here. Do you know why when there are girls who are brought back in the airport, there are others who are going? Because they have sisters there, they have relatives, they have friends there. They will ask you, I believe you members of the press have interviewed girls who are on their way out while others are being deported. You ask them, why are you going? My sister is there. They have been there. So they have true stories, and that's what motivates them to go and work. So I will ask for the support. Let us stop creating this notion of making it look like it's a bad thing. We have very many success stories, which we will share also with you. Let us send some positivity as a media. We have a lot of impact. Because what we are doing is now creating an enmity between Kenya and especially Saudi Arabia, which is wrong. Because now they will hate our people for what we do to them. Are we making this better? We're just making the situation worse than it already is. Another thing I want to comment on is these NGOs, like Haki Africa. We know they earn money from sad stories, but it is important to do due diligence. We have, for instance, a girl who was died in Saudi Arabia. She was stabbed by her fellow Kenyan over a man. Will that story come that way? No. You will all be at the airport because she did not go with a visa to go and do whatever she was doing. Do you know that there are brothels in Saudi Arabia? And do you know sex sells there because it's prohibited? So here we'll be running and saying the agent that took her is responsible. That is not true. We have Kembois. They even have a name. We have Kembois. They have their own villages. There is Karatina. My people, you can name all the agencies. They have their own villages there they have created. They have nightclubs. They have all these things. But now, when they kill each other, the visa that took you, whoever took you is responsible. It's very unfortunate, and we are calling on the government to involve us. We have no jurisdiction outside this country as agents. As companies, rather, recruitment companies. We have no jurisdiction. So we are calling on President William Ruto. Can you please don't look very far for consulars to represent us there, who will take care of the welfare of the girls. As we will do it, we do it with only our potential. We also send, we partners companies and have employees there to look after our girls. What if you give us a whole consulate? We will take care of this.
Alafu hapo hapa slave traders ndio wako hapa. And they are communicating to us. And we're requesting the government of Kenya, led by William Samoei Ruto, our president, to make sure that there are mechanism that is put in place and strict rules to tell these people to stop enriching themselves in this slave trade, with this kind of trade, which is a human trafficking trade. We cannot allow that. We are not going to allow that. Alafu ndio wako hapa addressing us that they want their right. How? I no way. No.